Welcome to Voices in Hyperspace, where friends get together and talk all things sci fi. Today we're discussing Star Trek Starfleet Academy, Episode 9, 300th Night.
The overall premise of the episode is it's kind of a celebration. So it's the end of the school year. The cadets are preparing to leave the academy, and they're going to go celebrate. They're celebrating the new Federation government, which means they're going to go and have some of their celebrations there. You can see a lot of the students are dancing in the hallways. Let me point out a background thing that's really cool. We have a Ferengi happy dance in the background. It's pretty awesome. Big up to Jesse Eisenberg. The cadets are having some conversation. Jaden is inducting. He's doing a bonding ceremony, inducting cadets into his chosen family. Sam reveals with her new developed resilience, she is expressing that she's applied for a single room for the next year, surprising Genesis. Admiral Vance briefs Aki and Kelrick, where they learn that Nus Baraka had stolen their top secret Omega molecule from the Federation base that was attacked during the episode about the Miyazaki. And this makes Nus Baraka extremely dangerous to the Federation. And instead of canceling their celebration on Betazoid, they're going to continue, but they're going to call in more of the Federation fleet for protection. Sam, having a conversation with Caleb, discovers a way to help Caleb find his mother. Caleb uses that way, and he finds all of the messages she's been sending to him for the past 15 years. It's really wild. In the meantime, Caleb has a conversation. He's saying goodbye to Tarima because he is planning to leave, and he hijacks a shuttlecraft to go to the moon, Ishani, to find his mom. To his surprise, the shuttlecraft has also been infiltrated by Sam, Genesis, and Darum. So the four are going to they're taking a transwarp tunnel to Ukek, and they're going to try to find his mom. Jaden realizes what Caleb is doing. Him and Tarima find out. They let Chancellor Aki and Reno know, and they plan to, and Aki and Reno plan to take the Athena to go intercept the students. When the students get to Ukek, they are in a whole new world. It doesn't look like the Federation at all. It's kind of like a cyberpunk, kind of a rundown station, but it's kind of outside of the Federation planet. They do find Jaden. They do find Caleb's mom, but she is totally against the Federation. And there are some discussions on what everyone's going to do. She helps the cadets repair their ship so they can get off of the planet. And that's when Caleb reveals to the other cadets that he's going to go with his mom and not going back to Starfleet Academy. The Venari Raw occupies the planet. They out the cadets, and they're going to execute them. Kaylin's mom helps them escape. She takes a shot. They are rescued by the Athena, and they leave the planet only for the Athena to be captured by Venari Raw ships. And in order to get away, they have to eject the saucer section and leave the atrium behind. And so on their way back to Federation space, they find that their border has been mined by Omega 42 bombs, which will destroy, when triggered, they will destroy the ability for warp in that region of space. And we end with a wonderful cliffhanger. The entirety of Federation space has been mined, and there is a wall separating Federation space from the rest of the galaxy. What will they do? Dum dum dum. So I would,
Wow.
there's a lot in this episode. before we start getting into the
Yeah.
serious stuff, can we talk about some of the fun background stuff? Yeah, the Ferengi doing the dance, like I knew that's what Jesse Eisenberg did, and it was kind of like an improv, but they kept it going, and it's again them they're doing nostalgia without it being overbearing. You know what I mean? Uh, the one Ferengi student is doing it, but it's also at the same time all the students are in the background dancing and stuff and having fun. There's some people making out in the in the hallway. It's a it's a wild day. And then along with that, that reminded me, these cadets that we're following, they're freshmen, right? Am I getting that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's their first year.
It's their first year, so it can be said that that is another reason why they tend to be a little bit immature. They're on the younger side. This is their first time in that environment. Everybody's trying to prove themselves, and I thought that was really cool. The other background things are isolinear chips. Isolinear chips. I'm always excited to see this technology. When Caleb is hijacking and trying to steal that shuttlecraft, he's switching around isolinear chips. And then the joke about Chaonians lacking the enzyme to process alcohol in the
They like a lot of enzymes.
yeah, they like a lot of enzymes. I thought that was so funny.
The announcement on the overhead when they're in the turbo lift, saying that the storage units are for things, not people, not yourself. Please keep it in your pants and
keep it in your pants. So it was a lot of fun things going on. And it for me, it kept the episode from feeling like such a heavy, deep thing. I wrote a section about some of the problems I have with the episode, but I'll wait until until we're done. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I like the fact that Sam is now kind of a different person. She wants to become independent now. She's a little bit more serious than her character was when she was just a newborn, if you will. Now she's got the experience behind her, but she's a little bit more insightful, which I like because she still has that playfulness to her. Like when she hugs him and she's like, "You're full of shit," and gives him a big old hug. And, and so she's still her playful self, but she has this little bit more serious edge to her.
Yeah, I really love the new dimensions and dynamics that are coming with Sam. Her whimsy is still there, but her confidence is through the roof. So when Caleb tried to leave, he's going to perform a jump out of warp through a wormhole and thread a needle so fine that it would be difficult for, artificial intelligence to pull it off. She's like, how exactly do you expect to do that without me? And her confidence was like so high. And when he was trying to tell her what was going to happen, she's making it very clear that I've been programmed and told what to do my entire life. I'm over it. That shit stops now. So good luck trying to do this without me. Fuck what you talking about. You can roll all that shit up in a pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, it's like last time she did something, that she's like, I think I can. Maybe. I think. Yeah, she was very hesitant, and this time she was like, well.
I like that about her because what you see, like she, in the last episode, they helped her develop the resilience and all that stuff, but she also has experience. And so she seems a little bit more assured of herself because she's been through some things. She grew up. And so everything isn't so new, even though it still is a little, it's not extreme, but it's a little exaggerated. But I think that's more of her personality than just her for the first time experiencing those things.
We were wondering if she was gonna call the doctor her dad, and she does. And he,
Yes, that's
the
so
way he
cute.
reacted, he's like, "So why are we still here?"
Our daughter's out there.
How she challenged Genesis was great too, because Genesis did not stole away with them. She just stumbled upon them while she was helping do the closing procedures. And when the argument was being had on whether they should go to the chancellor for help or not, and Caleb knew that the chancellor was not going to be able to help him in the way that he needed, he was taking things into his own hands, which is a whole nother conversation that we'll need to have later. But Genesis and him disagree. And he's like, "You can leave." And when she goes to leave, him is like, "No, you cannot. You're not about to go out there and snitch on us.
Right, you ain't ratting us out.
Because we're leaving now."
Yeah, that
Oh,
whole scene was very Saved by the Bell. Like, I ran in here and I tripped in here and now we're stuck. Like,
yep. Which I appreciate that whole series there. I wanna back up to like earlier in the beginning. So Sam does a couple of things and Jaden does I keep saying Jaden. Sam does a couple of things and Caleb does a couple of things. During Jaden's ceremony, and I apologize if I got the name of the ceremony, where he's passing around the food and drink. I guess it's a drink. It's stuff in
yeah.
it. He's talking about it's like his chosen family, and I appreciate that language because even though I believe that they're trying to say something very specific about the show, these students, these cadets, are forming a bond, and having a chosen family is really important. They're all isolated in different ways. Jaden, quote unquote, abandoned by his family. Caleb, abandoned or lost, taken away from his mom. Darum, abandoned by his parents. Genesis, we don't really know if her admiral father abandoned her or it's just like, yo, go out there and make something great of yourself, or just don't come home. You know what I mean? There seems to be a lot that there's a lot of pressure that they're all under, and they're like, no, we're gonna be each other's
Yeah.
Well, it's clear that that is the case because everybody's had contact with their parents but her. Hello? Problematic?
family. Well, here's the thing: we don't know if that's on purpose or if it's like by choice from her parents. There's still a lot of I don't know, unless there's something y'all seen that I haven't seen, but I feel like there's still some questions of whether or not it's her kind of like self-exiled until she makes something of herself.
That's a good point because on that day she was supposed to go be with her dad. She stayed behind to fix her records or whatever. So it's not exactly the same as Darren's people who really wasn't fucking with him.
Yeah. It seems to me like an emotional abandonment. Like her feelings don't matter and she hasn't been raised in a way for her feelings to matter, just as what the Admiral thinks. And part of me is also thinking about other teen shows like Naruto, particularly Boruto, where we actually get to see Naruto not have enough time for Boruto because he is the Okage, which would be kind of equivalent to a Admiral. Kind of. Yeah.
We can jump to another topic, I guess. So after that, that's when we get Sam talking about, hey, I applied for my own solo room. I feel like I want to do something different. And it's her exploring her individuality, which that sounds like a college student. She's not trying to make everybody like her now. She's like trying to figure herself out. I thought that was kind of cool. Later in that conversation with Caleb, she says something. She perfectly pinpoints this about him. She pinpoints that he basically pretends the things that other people say doesn't bother him, and he's like, yeah, it's a skill. You develop that over time, and it's like a survival skill of his. And this is what I mean when people are criticizing, like, he's such a baby, I'm like, yes, he has arrested development. He does not have like a full healthy spectrum of emotional intelligence. He masks or buries his emotions. But then when people get really close and shock him or hurt him, he turns into a child. And to me, that is a brilliant character decision, because he has to develop this, and he's going to develop it on screen. He's not going to show up one day like, yes, I'm a perfectly well-adjusted young adult. I had to figure this out. And this episode actually shows he's got to go through some trials.
Well, also it does. So in the scene with Tarima on the elevator, it shows that he is learning because they're becoming more civil to each other. It like between since the okay, they got together finally, and then all of a sudden the whole thing happened with her getting too close, and then he pushed her away, and then he wanted her back, but then she didn't want to be back, and now they're coming to like this spot to where okay, we can be civil with each other, we can make each other laugh, we don't have to be on and off. We don't have to be boyfriend and girlfriend. We can be friends now.
Yeah.
And he's starting to learn that stuff.
Mm.
He's still got a long way to go because, like Sam said, he pushes people away and pretends things don't get to him, and he uses that as his defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked how the Klingon ceremony kind of brought that out of him, and I felt that.
Yes.
Felt like when you were at work and your boss is like, "We're family," and it's like, "No, we're not." Like I have other things that I think is more important than this. I also kind of noticed that this was a similar ceremony to what Worf did with the little orphan that he for some I have to rewatch it to remember exactly what happened, but he had found there was a kid that had a family. He's like, "You're gonna be my family now." And then later you see him with that same sash on.
Yeah. Yes, he had on the Klingon sash. It was dope.
I saw that too.
Klingons love to adopt people. Yo.
Oh.
Worf was adopted into the house Duras. He adopted some people. Yo, the Klingon houses are very family oriented. So when Admiral Vance, I kind of like this scene, but there was parts of it that really bothered me. When he's talking to Aki and Kelrick, and he's like, "Hey, we figured out what we figured out what Nus Baraka stole, and it's the Omega molecule. Now I understand this is supposed to be a big revelation, because remember Nus was like, Aki, I stole something for you, and when I show you, you're gonna, it's gonna be a big surprise, but I got something for you." And so this is actually supposed to be a big deal. This is an existential threat to the galaxy, but specifically they're showing in this episode to the Federation. And the thing in this episode that I didn't like was I wish Aki didn't have to spell it out for the audience. That's the only thing. She understood what was going on. She was acting. It was great. But the repeat of like, oh shoot, that can destroy billions of lives. It can destroy subspace. It's like, yeah, the audience in general, I think, are smart. And maybe they could have handled it slightly different. I don't know. This is a minor nitpick for me, but at the end of it is like, in a few short sentences, they were explaining this is the danger and we got to do something about it. Then they explained what Starfleet was doing, and this made me say, no. Starfleet is like, yeah, we're calling home our whole fleet. So I'm like, you're gonna put all your fleet in one space? It's not exactly one place, but it's like half of them gonna be Betazed, and I'm like, no, that sounds terrible. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I think some
They
You cut out.
have good reason for doing it though, even though in hindsight it was a terrible idea. But when they were going over alternative plans, like, well, maybe we need to cancel the celebration and handle this crisis. And they were like, yo, we abandoned Betazoid once before. Let's not do that again. And let's like focus our plan around the planet and the ability to stay. But that's where Zeus Baraka's also like his level of intelligence comes in. He knows that that the chancellor has made mistakes and she is motivated to like redeem the mistakes that she's made in the past. And that is also like a sentiment of Starfleet. He even told her like the difference between me and you is I don't give a fuck. So that leaves me free to do a bunch of wild shit. But no, and your care makes you predictable.
Kind of feel like
Mm,
the repetition feeds into the goal of this show, which is to bring in a younger audience. And there's some points that you're going to like. We will catch on that the bad guy stole a thing and he's going to put it out there. But there might be some other people that's like maybe he might be on Caleb's side somehow. I don't know. I feel like that was more of a young person, more or less storytelling where certain things are repeated in a way to get them to understand, whereas we clearly understand.
look, kid, this thing is really dangerous.
Yeah,
Um,
like you have to
yeah,
tell Kate, let's tell, we're telling the story so that Caleb will understand.
yeah. Um, but other than that, I thought that scene was pretty cool.
I didn't like the name, the Omega 47.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have ever seen Galaxy Quest, which actually is a
Yep.
parody.
Yep.
The main thing on that was the Omega 13, and I'm like, are we talking about the Omega 13 in Star Trek now?
Hey,
Come full circle?
I wonder if that was an Easter egg for Galaxy Quest and Star Trek.
And
Yeah.
it may actually be based on real science.
Could
So
be, yeah.
I don't know chemistry or physics well enough.
Who
Even
knows?
though
Because what they explained about the because News Baraka has the Omega, he has a synthetic version of the Omega molecule. So the 47 is they probably have a whole bunch of it and they're just experimenting on it because Starfleet is a bunch of scientists that are always virtually one experiment from destroying the entire universe.
uh-huh.
Remember when they were experimenting with Cloak and they killed a bunch of people because the ship cloaked into a planet? Um, yeah,
Jesus, yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of a thing to think about. But yeah, I get it. They could have been a little less Easter eggy on the name.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
I actually feel like it's a physics word, and I just don't know how many simple science words. Oh, it is in Star Trek. What the world? I thought it was going to be real science.
No, because they do use it, but what I think they even established it in Voyager how volatile it is. The Borg were looking for the Omega's molecule because it was perfection. They were looking for that.
Okay.
Starfleet wanted to keep an eye on it because they're like, this thing can destroy planets, but also it causes subspace damage, which would destroy their ability to use warp, which is what they're trying to use in this episode to make sure that we understand the plan for News Baraka is like, look, we need to get rid of Starfleet. Y'all get on my nerves. Y'all emerging as a power in the universe, and you hurt my pot. I need to be a drug dealer. Wait, okay. Can y'all humor me for 1 second? On Uke, the announcer was saying like, hey, this planet is under siege by is under annexed by the Venari Raw Empire. Have we heard those words together in this series? Am I tripping? Did I miss something?
We were just pirates, and now I guess they've been outside space for long enough that they're an empire now.
I mean, I think it shows how powerful they are, and maybe that's like their ambition because eventually, like a rogue pirate organization is going to try to nationalize themselves, right? That's what that seems like. But when I heard those words, I was like, wait a minute, what? So to me, that I thought the Venari route was going to be like Noose Baraka and a couple ships, but they seem like they got an armada.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that.
You know, they probably were when he first got arrested with Caleb's mom, and
Mhm.
now he's grown since then, and he's friends with those other guys that were phasing the Bat people.
That-
Furies.
Yeah, the Furies.
he's friends with Batman, Man Bat. There we go, Man Bat.
And Bat.
Morpheus.
I felt really bad for Caleb when he found out that his mom had been sending him messages for his entire life.
I thought it was 2 years.
No, it was just the last 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it the last 2 years? I thought he.
Yeah.
Oh, so he only said 2 years of. Oh, right. Yeah, 2 years of messages because it was since he escaped or she escaped.
No,
And and
Yeah.
he had been using the correct password while he was a child, but in the last couple of years, he kind of like gave up on that and were trying to use like the tools and resources and the intelligence that he had to try to be a little too advanced with it. And Sam brought up a great point that like your mom still sees you as the 6-year-old and is trying to communicate with a 6-year-old, and you out here with your
20-year-old genius.
right, your 10-year-old genius mind, and you're building stuff out of nothing, and so you have forgotten the creativity of child. And I really love that, and I really am just grateful for all of the people who hold on to their childlike minds, because without it, we wouldn't even have content like Star Trek. If you're not able to be creative, because the oppressive system that we're currently under definitely tries to kill that at every turn.
Yeah.
But though it was the last 2 years, and it does still sting a lot to know that for so long she's been, seeking, but with her mom's intuition, she's just, I can just feel you. I know you're still out there. And she was so confident that he was okay and that she was gonna find him. And he never gave up on her either. It was so beautiful.
Mm.
So Caleb plans to steal the ship. We have the Saved by the Bell moment where all the kids. I know I keep saying kids, but all the cadets basically like, you ain't going nowhere by yourself. It started with Sam. Sam was like, yo, I'm going with you. And he was like, no, you're not. And she explains, like, I'm better than you in every way. I know what you're trying to do. You won't be able to do that without me. So you can't get rid of me. And then Genesis comes in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
As I was gonna say, I like the part where she explains like, hey, you could try to put this in, and you could put these coordinates in and everything, and if you fail, I have just enough time to get myself off of this and watch your skin come off your body. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was gold. But I don't over the part where when he found the letters from his mom, he's trusting in the chancellor enough now. They have built a relationship to where he was going to her for help until he
Yeah.
overheard the turmoil that the Starfleet is under and knew that she wasn't going to be able to help him.
And he was like,
And
ooh, y'all busy. I'm going to just help myself to a show.
and it was, I saw the intuition inside of Aki when he said nothing. She knew something was wrong, and I tried to avoid doing this myself. When that spirit moves, you have got to follow it, because if you don't, you'll know very soon after, how wrong you were. and she really should have stopped and pressed him to make sure that everything was okay. But she's got a lot on her plate. She had the other chance
Also,
to
you got to remember.
resolve that problem.
I also like. I know that you watched all of Voyager, but you have to remember, Starfleet shuts down everything around the Omega molecule. They're like, nobody can know about this because it's so dangerous. So she's like, okay, Caleb is up to something, but he can't know what we got to deal with. And so he goes off. He's trying to be smart. It's like, okay, I'm gonna just sneak off, but he doesn't know how dangerous it is for him to leave, and that's part of him growing up. He's doing dangerous stuff again.
Like, I was thinking about with Ake not responding to Caleb. I think she just didn't respond fast enough. It's like it kind of remind me of like when I worked in the classroom and you tell a kid, okay, wait to get your snack. I'm going to get it for you at this time. And you turn around to do something else, and the next thing you know, little one done got a chair and is climbing up the bookshelf trying to get to the crackers. Like, that's Caleb. Yeah, Ake obviously knew that she needed to go to Caden and find out what he needed, or that she knew that there was something wrong. But because she's in the midst of doing something already, like something super important, she didn't stop to take care of that right away. And we're used to Jaden, Caleb. I called him Caden, didn't I?
It's okay. We're good.
Oh, we're used to his issues being something that you can get back to, but also at the same time, he's fast. He does not.
He's impatient. Yeah.
He is impatient. It totally reminds me of like I'm doing something that I can't leave in the classroom. I potty train kids. I may be changing a diaper or something, and some other kid is crying for something like a snack. Like, okay, the snack time is going to be in like 2 more minutes. Let me finish this, and now they're climbing furniture trying to get to the
Oh
car.
my god. I mean, yeah.
That's Caleb trying to get to the crackers before I can give them to you. I'm going to give them to you. You know I give you the crackers, but you ready to climb the furniture to get to them.
Yeah, but he was like that with Sam too when she said, "Oh, I can figure out where these messages were sent from and everything, but it's gonna take me 14 hours." He's like, "I can't wait that long." Like, it took me
Yep.
14 hours.
That's true. Yep.
But
Go ahead.
what I want
Go ahead.
to add about Ake's intuition, it's not just about Caleb. Also, she could see or she could feel what everybody was kind of thinking. Like when her, Reno, and the doctor were like, "Okay, we're gonna go rescue these kids. These are our kids." I mean, with the doctor, it is his literal daughter.
Mhm.
Uh, but she knew that they go on this mission and they were alone. 'Cause she knew Vance couldn't say it, but he could not help them and he could not know what they were about to do. But he knew her long enough and she knew him long enough that they knew together something's about to go down and it could cost her her career. So with Vance, he knows that he has no choice but to follow Star regulation. And she's kind of put in that position that she was in the very beginning of the series, where
I-
she's putting Caleb's mom in prison, even though
Mm.
she's taking a mom away from her child. And it's like she's in that same position, but she wants to do something. She wants to do a better outcome.
Yes. I like that about the Admiral Vance. Like the entire time, he's the authority that really can't budge, even though he has like these internal feelings. Like, I want to help you. I wish I could give you time. I wish I could give you ships, but I can't. You got to figure this out on your own. It puts Starfleet Command in a different role because often in past series, Starfleet Command is like this authoritarian council that's like, nope, you buy the book, you can't break the rules, you do this, don't disappoint us, all of that. They give Starfleet Command kind of a face and a heart with Admiral Vance, Vance is like, I understand our principles are important. There's a reason why we have them. But Aki, you gotta do what you do. He said, you gotta do what you do.
Yes.
And so instead of them being at odds with Starfleet Command, they're like, okay, we gotta hurry up and do this within the rules. Within the rules. And it does mean bending and breaking rules. But we had to set everything as concrete in stone yet. So I thought that was really, really cool. Because Starfleet is always gonna be a bit of an obstacle, but there's a reason why. And it's because in all of these series, it's Starfleet principles that guides everybody. And every once in a while, not every once in a while, every couple of episodes, they have to violate Starfleet, the prime directive, or disobey orders or something. You know what I mean? That's where you get like conflict. Yeah, I wanted to point out something. The show does a really good job of this. It starts out with a false sense of camaraderie. A false sense of camaraderie with the cadets. You know, they do the bonding ceremony. They're like, no, we're going on this adventure with you, Caleb. We're gonna help you find your mother. Oh shoot, we are trapped on Ukek, and we're gonna work together, and we're gonna re-engineer these parts so we can fix the ship. The minute that Caleb sees his mom, he's like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Oh, that was a good scene. That was a good scene too. When he's telling them all off so he can
Oh my
find
god, yes.
to this.
Yes.
He's like, you're insecure about your dad, and you can't communicate. And she's like, shut up.
Shut up. Yeah. And it's wild too because he hit them at their most vulnerable. Like he specifically pointed out Darum's insecurities. He's like, you only see yourself in your parents. You're looking for yourself in your parents. But it's like he's doing the Caleb thing. He's like, I need you to hate me so I can go. Because he really does care. But he doesn't know how to ask for the thing that he wants. He thinks because I've been looking for my mom this entire time that I have to choose between my mom, and Starfleet. And maybe he does. I mean,
Yeah, and he gets it thrown back in his face when Darren, like, I've not seen him that angry, like Darren in a angry in a good way. Like he shouts right back at his face. He's like, don't be that way, you know? It's like,
yeah, he's like, you just want to hang on to being the messed up kid.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
it was a great scene.
it's a great scene because the friends they see him as a friend. They get the ceremony,
Yeah.
and they're hurting each other. And I feel like, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I feel like when Caleb lashed out, he actually hurt them, and they're trying. Well, at least Dara was trying his best to be like, no, I'm not letting you go. Genesis is like, no, you're right. You made your decision. We should go. But yeah, it's a whole thing because I think he hit her the hardest. He's like, nobody's ever gonna follow you. What? You only care about yourself. And the thing is, he might be right. He might be right. She might be in that mindset. Like, so, you know, barely, not really. It's okay. And so he breaks everybody's heart. Sam is like, I'm not falling for it, but I love you. And I think Sam understands, like, okay, this is the lost boy. He finally finds his mom. He needs his mom. This boy needs his mom right now. And Sam knows because she needed a parent. And she got one. Caleb didn't have a parent for much of it. So there's a lot of like development that Sam got. She's right now more mature than Caleb.
Yeah. Yes.
And she can relate because, like you said, she has those memories of not having a parent. and how much that made her. She said earlier that she hated herself because she didn't have what she needed
Mhm.
from a parent. That I felt that. Like, because without that resilience, and like I said, she was going to be a way to outline what the other kids were lacking in their resilience.
Yes.
So it was really cute. I
And of course, as soon as Caleb leaves, they get like not arrested. But they get found out almost immediately. And then you hear the over speaker talking about, hey, you got some Federation spies. And he's like, Mom, which okay, by the way, again, Caleb's mom is Tatiana Amaslani. She is doing an amazing
I just so the only thing I have a gripe about is her hair. She had total mom hair. I'm like, guys, you have to do that to her. Does she have to?
she had mom on the rebound here. He's yeah, I'm a big dog on. But man, I can dig it. She's cool. It's cool. Not bad. It's not bad.
Is that explain why he's so big? Because the She-Hulk is his mom.
Right? Does that mean Daredevils are bad? So, the cadets, they're held at gunpoint. Caleb turns around and he causes the distraction to try to save them. And then his mom comes and is like, hey, leave them alone. They're not
Oh,
ready
he
to
does
come around here.
He does the cool thing with the comm badge, which was he knew exactly what he was doing with that too. He told
Yeah.
Fawn so Ake could hear him, and he
Oh.
gave her a code about the entire surroundings. He told her exactly where they were standing, what was happening,
Yeah.
and who was standing there and who had guns on who, all like just by shouting like into the crowd. It was really like some spy stuff right there.
And that's a trick that you learn when you've been in prison and on the run for a bunch of
Yep.
that's the street smarts.
Yep.
Um, Firefight ensues. They fight their way out. Caleb Lom gets shot and it's rough. And to the rescue comes the Athena. They to get there, they did some wild stuff. One, they did did they use the warp tunnel? Is that
They
what,
were
no, they were sorry, go ahead.
They
I'm
were already close.
yeah, they were close.
Found out from the other cadets who stole away where they were going, but
Yeah.
it was their initial traveling that they followed. So when they
Yes.
did a warp tunnel, that was why Sam needed to be there because he was going to evaporate himself trying to follow that warp tunnel into that part of space.
But what happens is the Athena comes in and it basically flies as close as possible to the building they were in, gets their transporter signals and pops them out of there, transports them out, send Kevin's mom to sick bay, and then everybody else is there. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part. So it was Tarela and Jaden. They were the ones that ratted out the cadets. I'm like, hey, look, we know where they're going, and they're like, okay. They're like, okay, cool, we're gonna go get them. And then when they arrive in orbit of the planet, the doctor was like, no, was it Lena was like, we got 2 life forms in the cargo bay? And they transported them to the bridge, and they're like, how did you get past our sensors? And Genesis, of course, is like, not Genesis, Trema is like, yeah, we lowered gravity by like 26%. It erases all of our life signs. And I love Aki. She's like, that's a design, which means we gotta fix that.
Also, when they come and or they come and tell them about them all being gone, she looks at him. She's like, "Why do you two look guilty as hell?"
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's all like that. It was kind of cool. They beam them back on, and they're headed back to Federation space. They get attacked by Venarial ships, and the ships are using giant hooks. I get what they're trying to do. I don't like this technology, but they got giant hooks. They're trying to rip the ship apart.
I thought they were just tractor beams, like the standard tractor beams, just
Was
to
it tractor
help.
beams? Am I tripping? Am I imagining things?
I think because
They trap the ship with the tractor beam, and Aki is like, "Yo, we need to drop the we need to launch the show the saucer section." And I like how there was a hesitation because Reno was like, we're gonna leave the atrium," and Aki's like, "We need to get out of here," and so they do. So the large wings of the ship, the atrium is gone, and saucer section,
whole school.
yeah.
Yeah,
No.
the whole school.
Yeah, that's this atrium of the school, which is, ooh. And so they escape. And right when they're about to get back to Federation space, a couple things happen. Caleb's mom is like, we're with the what, with the who, with the where. She's about to come face to face to the judge that took her son away. And that's gonna be a while with
Conversation.
Yeah. But then the ship cannot enter into Federation space because they kind of made a net of Omega 47 bots around Federation space.
That reminded me of the Tholian web.
You're not the only one. I've seen people say that.
That.
And they ended on a cliffhanger. So that means episode 10 is going to be at least the resolution of a couple of these story threads. And let's say, okay, it's going to be the season finale. They're probably going to resolve a big part of it, but maybe not completely Noose Baraka in the minority. Maybe trapping the Federation is going to get resolved because each season is supposed to be a year in Starfleet Academy. So time has to jump. Yeah.
They just lost the school.
Yes.
Well, no, actually, that they were in San Francisco, so they can go back to San Francisco to the school. But like,
No,
But-
the school is the shit.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were
Yeah,
building.
It landed. So it's the location of Starfleet Academy is San Francisco. The Athena is a large part of the school, and it lands on the campus. So we don't know what the whole campus looks like, but Starfleet Academy is pretty large. Because imagine, like, you go to college. College is not like one building. Sometimes it's like multiple neighborhoods just taken up by dorms and lecture
Yeah.
rooms.
Oh yeah, ECU takes map downtown.
But a large part of that campus is the ship itself.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get rid of that, like they got 3 months to get a new one.
You gotta get a new ship.
Yeah, I thought this would be a great way to see the contrast because we see where we know that Caleb is better off with Starfleet. Like he's trying to survive. It's a struggle to survive outside of Starfleet. Where in Starfleet it's like you got food, you got housing, you got clothes. He even said, "Hey, mom, don't worry about me. I'm good. I got everything I need." Blah blah blah. And as soon as he gets to his mom, it's like, how much is this going to cost? Where are we going to go? Where you been staying? Blah, blah, blah. Like,
Good point.
your only focus is struggle, whereas Starfleet, his only focus is his future. He gets to think about having a future. So it kind of makes me think about like how some people think that one system might be better than the system that we currently have. And when you live in this system where you're worried about or like, how do I describe this without getting political? We live in a capitalist system, and Caleb comes from a capitalist system. How do you comprise an idea of not living in a capitalized idea, a system? How do you let go of holding on to the things that make your life a struggle? And we get to well, probably her being stuck there should give us some time to like look at what the contrast of Federation life is. Because if we just see Federation life, okay, that's Federation life. But what are we trying to pull this woman away from? And why is she so scared of this life that is going to be other than they arrested her and put her in prison?
I mean, your freedom is important, and going to prison really sucks. Even in the Federation prison, that's not a cool idea.
I can
And
I can see this.
her there. Even though she did kind of was a part of killing somebody.
I could see this going a couple different ways. I can see her just running off, grabbing Caleb, and then leaving. I can see her actually helping them, getting exonerated, but still taking off, and then Caleb having to make the decision: do I want to go with my mom or do I want to stay?
Yeah.
And having that ultimate decision. So this can go in many different ways. And but the only thing is, I always see Caleb's mom, Aisha. Actually, I always see her leaving. So she's not going to be there. She'll come back, I'm sure, unless she dies. And that scared me when she got shot. I was like, no, nowhere.
Gotta get her off in front of his face now. um, I don't know. Tatiana might stick around. She's done with Disney, so maybe she has a sweet deal with Paramount and they plan to have her for more episodes. Hopefully.
I mean, I would like to see her like come back and just come into certain episodes.
Yeah.
Um, it's gonna be really interesting, the confrontation with Ake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I had a couple of problems with the episode. And it's not just this episode. I think it's the story arc, the series. They are some story element issues, and I'm pretty sure I've discussed this before. It's similar to the same issues I haven't discussed. So, the story issue is they're making the big bad too big and too bad. Um, his plan is to destroy the Federation. That sounds like a supervillain wants to destroy the city or enslave the planet. It's a little too ambitious for me, and it makes these kids way too central to like the survival of the galaxy to me, and I don't think they've earned it yet. You know what I mean?
I think I'm wondering why it's the kids that are in the middle of this and not, all them other adult ships like the Discovery.
Right. Well, um,
Like,
yeah. And what I wrote is they built the Noose Baraka as this serious threat that I think they're doing a great job with Noose Baraka. He has a great plan baiting Starfleet with the whole situation with Miyazaki stealing something from Starfleet, his personal hatred of Aki. All of that is cool that we've established even in Discovery, like, hey, the pirates don't like the Federation because the Federation is going to ruin their fun. The Federation's trying to build like networks. They're trying to get diplomacy. They want people to get their needs met. And the pirates are like, no, we can exploit people's power, right?
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me is I feel like they fast tracked the threat of Noose Baraka. I like how smart he's coming across as, but I think the Omega molecule makes him kind of like a galaxy threat villain that hasn't really earned it. And it's turning the characters into superheroes again. That I feel like they did that too many times with Discovery. They even gave what was the captain's name? Burnham. They even gave Michael Burnham a super suit for a little bit. She had the
Mhm.
angel suit.
Oh, the angel suit.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I to me, and I might be the only one. That's okay. But to me, I felt like that was like too far into the action adventure aspect of it. Um, and it made the Star Trek aspect a little bit smaller. And I know that Kirkman and all these guys, they're like, we want to make it an action adventure series, but Star Trek is not. It really is not.
I
Um,
mean, well, this one is
Here.
and
Well,
yeah,
it kind of piggies off of like a lot of other things that is more attractive to Gen Z. And did I say that right? Is yeah, the younger one. Um,
yeah, you said it right this time. Yeah,
they're attracted to, and that because their goal is to get younger audiences. Like for millennials are not millennial and Gen X, we are not the goal right now. We may like it, we may appreciate it, but we are not their main focus. Gen Z and Gen Alpha are their focus. And they need more. They don't have the time and they don't have the patience for well, because there's only 10 episodes in the season.
that's the part. That's the other part. It's only 10 episodes.
So like they story wise they don't have the time to build you up. We can't spend 20 episodes leading up to the Borg. Well, leading up to Locutus and all that stuff. We ain't got time for that. We got into half the time.
Yeah,
So
true.
if you wanted to, technically, if you want to put in all of the adventure of a full season of Star Trek, a 22 episode season of Star Trek into 10 episodes, this is what they did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that I totally understand that, and that I think for me that's a gripe that I have, but I do understand like the restrictions.
And then it has to do
also,
with younger kids. Like it's also modeling off of things that they're excited about. Like a lot of their shows that they like, it 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 hits excitement, craziness. What in the world has happened? Like we're still the media is thinking we need to get their kids' attention now because we don't get it now. But we gotta lift the stakes and make everything scary and put the people that we're modeling them after as the heroes. The kids are gotta be the heroes because it's a kid show. Kind of like anime. A lot of Gen Z likes anime.
All right,
Every
I'm glad you said because I was gonna say it.
okay, I was gonna say the thing.
Billy weird. I've obsessively watched anime for most of my life. And even with the even like Demon Slayer. Like why is this kid like 15 years old fighting full on from hell demons? Like there should be some adults out here actually fighting demons. Like Eon Genesis. Why are y'all got teenagers in these robots? Because it's designed for the show is designed for teenagers. The show's designed for adults. Have adults in the robots.
Well, look at things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's a teenager that's killing, that's fighting demons and these like gods and all the super powered creatures. But that's what that show did was it dealt with it. And she there wasn't a season that went by where she wasn't crying saying, "I'm just a girl, like I'm just this young woman. Why do I have to carry this burden? Why can't I be just a normal kid?"
Mhm.
And that's what these shows are like. It's called Starfleet Academy. It's a
Yeah,
school show
it is.
about students. Or it's like, what were you expecting? I mean, it's yes, it's a Star Trek show.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell a different point of view, and that's what I think. I know my frustration with the fans that are like, I don't like this show, blah blah blah. Is like, but it's not necessarily it's not the old Star Trek. This is a
Right.
different point of view of Star Trek. This is from the student's point of view. They're not gonna be at the level that Picard and
Exactly.
Spock, uh, Janeway, and the and Dr. Bashir and all these people from the other Treks. They're not at that level yet. They're gonna get there eventually, and uh, we're gonna watch their journey, but they're not there yet. So let's take this for what it is, and it's going to be a learning experience without having to go all the way back to a prequel and possibly change retcon. Because when they talked about the show coming out, I was worried that they were going to go back in time, and I like that they picked it up.
Oh, if they did that, I would have not
Almost.
watched
Yeah, it been rough. It would have been Star Trek Enterprise type of thing.
Like, I like how Mel mentioned anime because that's what I think about. Okay, again, you can say it's a gripe, it's media taking. I think the way that they do the action adventure and stuff like that, I think it is because they're trying to attract an audience, but I don't think that they completely understand that audience. Um, it's because I do think that the Gen Z and the people even younger than that, what is it, Alpha now? Um, I do think that they are a pretty sharp group of folks. I think they get things, and I think what has to happen in season 2 is the writers have to respect their audience. I don't think that they fully understand the audience, which in season 1 they have to figure that out. But I think there has to come a time where they're like, okay, we respect you and you can handle this stuff. So let's give you the meat of what the story is, and let's not um make it spectacle to attract you. Let's make it the thing that is going to challenge you. An example would be the Orville. Season 1 of the Orville, okay, they did some really good stuff, but I feel like that they didn't earn their goodwill. I think it was going off of hey, a lot of people like to watch Star Trek, so they just like, let's just use that design language, the Orville. Seth MacFarlane, his parody show, The Orville. It's honestly a good sci-fi show. It's a good follow up to Star Trek, but it's basically copying Star Trek without saying they're Star Trek. Yeah, and so their first season is like they're doing some really terrible campy jokes, but then after a while they're like, okay, look, we just really want to make a Star Trek show, so let's respect our audience and let's do a good sci-fi show. And I think Starfleet Academy needs to find that balance for themselves. I do think Gen Z and Alpha are at a place where, because I mean, look at the good sci-fi that Gen Z and Alpha like. They like some really nuanced stuff. It's just that people don't listen to them very much. And so I think for Starfleet Academy to get its legs, it needs to find that balance to say, I respect you, but I'm going to challenge you in these ways. Um,
You don't think it challenges?
no, I do think it does. I think it just centers the spectacle, like exaggerating the spectacle a little too much. It's too much of a superhero story. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like I said, my issue is this Baraka. He stops being like a Star Trek villain and sounds like a super villain. You know what I mean?
He But like the supervillain what builds the world that needs to change the direction of the students and the kids. It feels very anime.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
watching a live action anime. And I don't think anime doesn't challenge their audiences. I see it as a different challenge because kids today do have a different challenge. To for you to make a show to get the kids to challenge capitalism itself is pretty huge. What do we fill it in while we're questioning our thought process of fitting into capitalism? A lot of times capitalism can look like for younger people at any generation, your parents telling you what career you're going to be, your parents telling you who to trust, your parents being there for you. All of those things build up to how you project yourself within a capitalist system. And then they're questioning not just how you fit into the capitalist system, but the capitalist system on top of that. and their capitalist system depends on their ability. Well, outside of the Federation. Inside the Federation, the fact that they don't have a capitalist system is dependent on them being able to have access to each other.
Mhm.
And that's personal too. They need to have access to each other. And then on the outside, they're trying to cut off that access to each other, which I think is pretty
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm glad you said that because that's kind of like what happened during the burn. Like people
that's
were
what
so separated, and
pretty
yeah,
and I feel like our system right now where so many people are being pushed against each other, all these factions, race, gender, age, all this stuff, legalization, whatever, all these different factions are separating us and keeping us apart. He's modeling the shit show that this generation is going through. And engineering, I wish he could explain it, but he doesn't want to be on it. But
this and good.
he said that he saw this video where they're explaining the generations. And like the boomer generation is like, oh, things are looking up. We can buy a house, blah, 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 blah. And Gen X is like, oh, we're gonna do this, but like there's some issues, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, we just gotta work a little harder and there's more that we can do with this thing. Um and for millennials, y'all just blew up this world. Like,
Yeah.
well, and then Gen Z comes and it's just a shit show. They're just born into a shit show. And Gen Alpha comes and the description is so like as far as when it comes to modeling the social issues of a generation, a big bad blowing up the universe perfectly models the life of Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Can I share a slight perspective? Because I get what you're saying, and maybe it is because of my perspective. So I will accept that. I'm not Gen Z Alpha, and so I'm seeing things differently. To personify like some systemic issues in a singular person reduces it into a like press button to fix type of situation. And I and I think Starfleet in general has always been like people. We trust people to make good decisions, and here are the principles that guide us so we can make good decisions in these sometimes very difficult situations. And I think that that ideal has taken a back seat to we have a villain that if we team up and throw bombs at him, we can beat him.
Really?
That
Well, like,
because how do we defeat the Venari Raw? We blow up ships. There's
we do.
what's the diplomatic pathway to peace when there are entities like the Emerald Chain and Venari Raw exist?
Well, I mean, we also have to work on the mentality of the people because
Yes.
n- the Mir family, they represent
Yes. I can't even get that name.
they represent the because both Caleb and his mom are not trusting of this generation. They'd rather go live in this in under the personification of capitalism than to like go to the Federation. And they're still the mindset of these people. They're still in the mindset of the
They're
burn.
kind of like survival mode, resource scarcity. Yeah.
Right. Even the ones that grew up with their parents, they're still here. Theirs is like further on. But even if we got rid of him, we still have the mindset of the people who are not trusting of a system that's not under that rule. So we have the one personification of that thing, and then under everything is everyone else's spectrum within it. What do you
Okay.
think is I mean, even though Nosferatu.
News Baraka. Yeah, we keeping that in. We keeping it in. Yes.
Like this big bag feed figure is like
Yeah.
way too big. the fact that he's so big and you have everything else under it, it's kind of it represents the system that we have.
Yeah.
We have capitalism being the big thing that everyone's ideas fall under. Because some people can't think outside of money. You can't think of anything. You can't think of helping other people without money being involved. You can't think of medicine or feeding children or just caring for other people without money being involved.
What were you gonna say, PJ? I thought you. I felt like you had something.
Well, what I was gonna say was kind of on the fact that what his ultimate plan is wasn't exactly like I'm gonna kill everybody. It is he put them in a position to where um, they can't. Those mines are not doing anything at this point. They haven't destroyed anything. They haven't. They're just there. And what they're doing is making the Federation decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to like try to survive the way it is, or are you going to try to find a solution and possibly destroy and make it worse
Yeah.
by destroying subspace and not being able to get out? Or are you going like, what is your ultimate goal? Like, you're in a no-win scenario right now.
There you go. Okay, I can dig that. When you said that, when you explained how he trapped them in, my brain immediately switched to Bane and The Dark Knight Rises, because that's kind of what they did to Gotham. Um, yeah. All right. I thank y'all for that fun back and forth. There is one more thing I wanted to touch on. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Um, and I guess this also addresses a different type of criticism. This isn't mine, but this is something that's been in the discussion, mainly from internet trolls. But I do want to talk about. There really are no other big bads. The Federation is not in conflict with um, the um, Romulans anymore. They're not in conflict with the Klingons anymore. They're not in conflict with the Jem'Hadar and the Founders. They're cruel with the Cardassians, I guess. So
Order gone.
the border's gone, and so having new villains is important. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to see what some of the other ones will look like after we get introduced to more of this universe. Yeah. So that's what I want to share. I wanted to know what some of your thoughts are.
I think like with Discovery, we saw where it's not racist that we're fighting groups. Yeah, it's like and we're no longer and this probably what pissed off a lot of the older fans is that we're not generalizing people from different planets anymore. The Klingons are supposed to be this way, blah 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 blah. Like, no,
Right.
the Federation again. But yeah, it's opened up to just living things being assholes. A culture from a certain planet just being a nemesis or being whoever they are, and they're just going to be bad for us because they are who they are. They- It's more about the ideas, and that's why I feel like one of the other big bads is the mindset of people, which is a simple realistic unless the aliens after us.
Yes. So I found with like the original series and even up into like uh the right before Discovery. So all the stuff that led up to that, we often had those. Okay, this race is the villain,
Right.
and they're and then when Discovery came around, a lot of their alien threats were just misunderstood aliens. And when they sought out to try to understand the alien, then a resolution came through, and I was like, well, they're not bad. They just we just didn't understand them. And then they got to the future, and then they did actually have a villain in the Orion Syndicate. But with that, it was they were they were also kind of misunderstood. And I think that I don't remember how that whole
It was
that whole thing got.
it was part like they were misunderstood, but it was because they took advantage of how vulnerable some of the species and different planets were because of the burn. Yeah, and the Federation was seen as a failure, and
Yes.
they developed a more hierarchical, very authoritarian rule because they like we got to be strong to survive. Oh well, we're the strongest, so you can survive with us, or we can shoot you or send you free.
Yeah. The Orions are like perfect people to take advantage of a system like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like their culture. Right?
Uh,
That's kind of like their culture, right?
Most of their code, yeah. Like we saw in the lower decks.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
we're not all pirates, but we go there and pretty much everybody's a pirate. Like you, we disown you because you're not being a pirate like the rest of us.
All right, let's get ourselves out of here. Any last? Yeah, go for it.
I did want to shout out to the legendary Jonathan Frakes.
Yes.
He's got a couple films under his belt, and he's one of my favorite Star Trek Legends people. Like not just for his role as Riker, but also because I know a lot of cast members went on to direct and produce some of the shows, and he's one of my favorites. So
Yeah,
I'm
Jonathan
glad to.
Frakes. Yeah, he's produced a lot of fans' favorite.
But I also wanted to say that I do believe Star Trek has a history of recycling sets, and
Oh yeah.
I do I I believe the Ukek planet set looked very familiar, and I believe it is the Metalis Prime set from Picard.
Oh gosh.
And I'm not 100%.
Oh wait, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
The same set. It's just probably they redressed it, but it's good to see that they're continuing that tradition of reusing sets.
No reason why not.
Yeah, right. Spent all that money on it. Yeah, let that stuff hang out and get your money.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. That was a fun episode, the penultimate episode that left us on a very tense cliffhanger, and we got one more episode of this series for this season, and then we're done. It's I don't know. It went by kind of fast to me. It was fast, like 2 months.
I want more.
Yeah.
Well, they did just finish recording season 2.
Yes. I'm excited.
That was getting back to the academy because I've seen some clips. Some of the actors are posting on social media, and I like following them. Um, yeah, they're mostly just dancing around.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been watching. Yeah, I've been watching their clips and them having fun. I like this cast a lot too. Like I like when people have fun in their roles, and it seemed like these actors got into their characters pretty fast.
Yeah, did see some discussion about Laura Falk not being present in a lot of the episodes, and they said season 1 they did have some issues with her makeup taking too long,
Oh yeah.
and to only have her in like episodes for a couple scenes. They kind of just redress the scenes, and uh, so that way, if she was in an episode, there was plenty of her in it to to uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Accommodate the fact that she had to get up early and get put all of that makeup on. They said they fixed it for season 2, so she's in a lot more episodes, which I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. Did you drop me?
No, I didn't. But I'm gonna do it.
Am I drop? Oh, okay. Yeah, because she was talking about on her, I think it was Facebook or TikTok, one or the other, and they changed the material that her prosthetics are made of because they were like a latex or something before, and now it's like a styrofoam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she said it's a lot lighter. She went into detail about like how much less time it takes. I think it took it. I don't remember. It took him around 5 hours.
This last time and she didn't nearly sweat to death.
Yeah, she said that her makeup was about 15 pounds, and it's her whole head that's completely covered in makeup. So, and the prosthetics and everything. So, and they made a better prosthetic so that the newer prosthetic takes less time to put on. So they did cut off like a
It's
5
lighter.
hour at least, and it's a lot lighter. So I don't know why they haven't like figured out how to make light prosthetics by now. They've been doing this for 60 years.
They figured out this. They figured out what's cheaper.
And the original series. Let's not include that. But Ethan Little needed in makeup for like 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, how? I'm like, why? You just had the ears and the eyebrows.
No, but they have to do makeup for television, so it has to be good enough for the lighting and the cameras that they're using. So makeup artists have to consider a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to make sure. Oh yeah. What's going on?
Yeah. Let's get out of here. It's all good. So, thank y'all for joining us for this episode. What's in hyperspace? You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of those at Voices in Hyperspace. Keep your conversation going in the comments. You can find me on Legendary Black Lion on TikTok and Instagram at Legendary Black Lion. Hit me up. We can continue to talk side.
I'm Mel Asylum. You can find my link tree at Mel's Rebellion. And you can find my book, Unrooting the System, on Amazon.
And I'm PJ3K, and you can find me on Instagram at PJ3K.
And someday had to go ahead and do her away mission. So you can find her at Poker Table. She'll be returning with us next time. In the meantime, y'all take it easy. We'll see you out there. Peace.